Have you ever worked a full month, looked at your paycheck, and still wondered where all your money went? If you've ever felt trapped in a job you don't love just to keep up with bills, you're not alone. But what if I told you that the wealthy, the truly wealthy, don't chase paychecks at all? They don't work for money. They make money work for them. Let's begin this chapter of transformation. A new chapter in how you think about wealth, work, and freedom. Welcome to New Chapter, where every book we explore opens a door to a better, wiser, and freer version of yourself. Today, we begin one of the most transformative financial journeys ever written, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This isn't just a book about money. It's a book about mindset, about unlearning what we've been told since childhood, and about finally taking control of our financial future. At the heart of this story are two dads, two men, two voices, two completely different philosophies about life, success, and money. One said, "Get a good education, get a good job, and climb the ladder." The other said, "Learn how money works. Own the ladder, or better yet, build your own." One worked for money his whole life. The other taught how to make money work for you. Through these contrasting father figures, Kiyosaki reveals the hidden truths about wealth that schools never teach and families rarely discuss. This is not about theory. It's about real stories, real struggles, and a complete reprogramming of how we think about wealth. So if you're tired of running in circles, if you've ever wondered why some people seem to get ahead while others stay stuck, then this chapter, this lesson, this moment is for you. Because right now, you're not just listening to a summary. You're stepping into a new chapter of your life. One where you are no longer trapped by fear, limited by false beliefs, or waiting for permission. This is your turning point. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This chapter is where it all started. It's where Robert Kiyosaki introduces us to the two dads in his life, his real dad and his best friend's dad, who had very different mindsets when it came to money. Both dads were highly educated. Both dads worked hard jobs, but only one of them was rich and the other one was poor. So what was the difference? Well, Robert's real dad was a symbol of the poor dad in the story. He was a highly educated man who had a stable job as a government official. However, despite his high status, he never really talked about money. In fact, he told Robert that talking about money was taboo. But here's the thing, right? If you think about it, we're all taught to be like Robert's real dad. We grow up believing that we need to follow a certain path to achieve success. Get good grades, get a good job, work hard, and eventually we'll reach our goals. But the problem is that this advice is outdated, and it doesn't always work anymore. Why? Because the world has changed, and so has the way we do business. On the other hand, Robert's best friend's dad was a symbol of the rich dad in the story. He was also highly educated and worked hard. But unlike Robert's real dad, he talked openly about money and taught his son about financial education. See, he knew that money wasn't just about having a job and working hard. It was also about being financially smart and making smart investments. The reason why this story is so powerful is because it shows that no matter how hard we work, if we don't have the right financial education, we'll never achieve true financial freedom. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing these lessons with you. Because if you learn them, they can change your life too. They did for me. In this chapter, Robert introduces us to the concept of financial education. It's the idea that we need to learn about money and how it works if we want to become financially successful. You see, most of us are not taught financial education in school. We're taught to be good little workers, to get a job, work hard, and follow the rules. But this doesn't teach us how to manage our finances or how to make smart investments. Without financial education, we're like ships without a rudder, just floating through life with no real direction or purpose. But here's the good news. Unlike traditional education, Financial education is available to anyone who wants it. You don't need a fancy degree or years of schooling to learn how to manage your money and invest wisely. All you need is a willingness to learn and a desire to improve your financial situation. If you've been feeling lost or confused about your finances, don't worry. You're not alone. Most people are in the same boat. But by taking the time to learn financial education, you can set yourself apart from the crowd and start building the life you really want. And if you're wondering where to start, don't worry, I got you. Now let's continue with the video. Robert explains that the poor and middle class work for money, but the rich make money work for them. Let me explain. Most people think that making money is hard and complicated. They believe that only a few lucky people ever become rich, and that's why so many people live paycheck to paycheck. But the truth is that making money isn't as hard as people make it out to be. It just requires a shift in mindset. The poor and middle class tend to focus on earning more money so that they can buy things they want. For example, they might work overtime to earn a bonus at their job so that they can buy a new TV or a fancy car. However, the rich have a completely different mindset. Instead of buying things, they focus on making their money work for them by investing it in assets that generate passive income. This means that they earn money even when they're not working. For example, instead of spending their money on material possessions, they might invest in stocks, bonds, or real estate, which can generate rental income or appreciate in value over time. The biggest difference between the poor and middle class and the rich is the way they view money. The poor and middle class see money as something they need to spend on the things they want, while the rich see money as a tool that can generate more money. By changing your mindset and focusing on making money work for you, you can start building wealth and achieving financial freedom. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you see money as a tool to buy the things you want or as a tool to generate more money? Your answer will tell you a lot about your financial mindset. Okay, let's keep going. In this part, Robert talks about the importance of financial literacy. It's the ability to understand and effectively use financial tools and concepts. According to him, it's important to know how to read financial statements, understand investment strategies, and manage your finances effectively. Many people lack basic financial literacy skills, which makes them vulnerable to financial exploitation. They may not understand the fees associated with certain financial products or the risks involved in investing, which can lead them into bad financial situations. For example, some people may take out loans or open credit card accounts without fully understanding the terms and conditions, leading them into debt. Having a strong understanding of financial literacy can help you avoid common pitfalls and make informed decisions about your money. It can help you spot potential scams or fraudulent activities and protect your financial well-being. One way to improve your financial literacy is by seeking out educational resources such as books, courses, or workshops that can teach you the skills you need to manage your finances effectively. Additionally, it's crucial to stay informed and aware of the latest financial trends and regulations that may impact your financial decisions. By investing in your financial education, you can empower yourself to make smarter choices and achieve your long-term financial goals. So how financially literate would you consider yourself to be? In this part of the book, Robert shares a story about his rich friend's dad who was arrested for tax evasion. Despite being wealthy, the dad was hesitant to pay taxes and even went to jail for a short time because of it. When Robert asked his friend why his dad didn't pay taxes, he said that it was because the government didn't have the right to take his money. This made Robert question the role of taxes in society and whether the government had the authority to take people's money without their consent. However, when Robert's real dad found out about his friend's dad's arrest, he wasn't surprised. He explained that the rich and the poor have different views on taxes and that the rich understand the importance of paying their fair share. The rich understand that taxes are necessary to fund public services and infrastructure that benefit everyone in society. They also know that by paying taxes, they're contributing to the economic growth and stability of the country. On the other hand, the poor often see taxes as an unnecessary burden and feel like they're being exploited by the government. They may not see the connection between paying taxes and the benefits that come with it, which is why they tend to avoid paying their fair share. As a result, there's often a significant gap in tax revenue between the rich and poor communities, which can lead to inequality and social unrest. It's important to remember that while paying taxes may not be the most exciting thing, it's essential for the well-being of society as a whole. By paying our fair share, we can ensure that public services are funded and that the economy remains stable, which ultimately benefits everyone. So what do you think? What's your view on taxes? In this part, Robert's rich friend's dad gives him a piece of advice that changes his perspective on money. His dad tells him that if he wants to be rich, he needs to be willing to take financial risks. At first, this advice seems risky to Robert because he's always been taught to play it safe and avoid taking chances. But as he continues to learn from his rich friend's dad, he realizes that taking calculated risks is an essential part of building wealth. For example, his dad tells him that investing in stocks is a risky venture, but it can be a great way to grow one's money over time. However, Robert responds by saying that he doesn't want to take any risks when it comes to his money. To which his dad replies that if Robert doesn't want to risk his money, then he shouldn't expect his money to grow. This statement really makes Robert think about his mindset when it comes to money. He realizes that if he wants to be rich, he needs to be willing to take some risks. But he also understands that his dad is right. If he's not willing to risk his money, then he shouldn't expect it to grow. This is a really important lesson for all of us to learn. Taking risks is a necessary part of building wealth. We need to be willing to put our money on the line if we want to see a return. Otherwise, we're just keeping our money safe and letting it lose value over time due to inflation. So what risks are you willing to take when it comes to your money? In this part, Robert shares an experience from his childhood that highlights the stark contrast between the way the rich and the poor think about money. During the Christmas season, Robert and his sister would eagerly wait for their parents to give them allowances. However, one year, his dad didn't give them any money, which made them feel disappointed and angry. To make matters worse, Robert noticed that his mom bought expensive items like a TV and a vacuum cleaner, which made him resent his dad even more. As a child, he couldn't understand why his dad wasn't providing for their family or giving them allowances. It wasn't until he grew up and learned about the financial situation of his family that he understood the reasons behind his dad's actions. He realized that his dad was actually poor and was struggling to provide for them. On the other hand, Robert's best friend from the wealthy family didn't have to worry about money. His dad made sure that he and his siblings had enough money to enjoy themselves during the holidays without any financial stress. This experience made Robert realize that money is a taboo subject for many families, especially those who are struggling financially. It also showed him the emotional toll that financial stress can take on families and individuals. Overall, this part of the book serves as a reminder for all of us that money is an important topic that should be discussed openly in families. It also highlights the importance of financial education and planning to ensure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to money. Kiyosaki saw it clearly. His poor dad believed in job security. His rich dad believed in financial education. His poor dad taught him to fear risk. His rich dad taught him to manage it. One prepared him to be an employee, the other an entrepreneur. So he asked himself, and we must too, which dad are you following? This isn't about quitting your job today. It's about thinking differently starting today. Can you build skills that create value? Can you start investing in yourself, in knowledge, in income-generating assets? The journey begins with awareness and continues with action. Maybe no one ever taught you how money really works. Maybe you were told to play it safe, follow the rules, and work hard till retirement. But now you know better. You're not just an employee. You're the CEO of your financial life. And this right now is your chance to start a new chapter. And that wraps up Chapter 1 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I hope you enjoyed this summary and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below to let me know what you thought. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to join our growing community of learners. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.